Hello and good evening, chat. How are you? I'm good. It is good to have you back. It's good to be back. I had a nice week-long vacation, and now I'm back and nervous as ever, but we'll fix that after a minute, won't we? Let's see. So let's start off the night by thanking all of our new people. We have a new follow from Be Sinister. Thanks for joining us. Your username scares me, but you are welcome nonetheless. A big shout out to The Joy of Missing Out, who has joined and shared some wonderful stuff on our Discord. Got to hear some late night jams from them and some film scoring. And let's see, welcome to Penguin's Disciple. Thanks for the follow. Good to have you. Honk to Teeth Engraved. Back at you. You are not a new follow, but you got a honk in chat nonetheless. Thank you to my one and only subscriber. Incidentally, I guess without sounding like too much of a, salesman, I guess it's some kind of Twitch sale for September. So if you feel like supporting the channel, this is the time to do it. It's 20% off. Concept Wife, what is up, Carrot? Fruit Gang, represent. About to hit the hay, but wanted to say hi. Thank you. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see, also gonna say a shout out to our resident banana, Lunar Club, also from the Fruit Gang. Thanks for the follow. And to Mario Bringus, who is a music teacher with his own channel. If you speak Spanish, then that's a good place to learn about beat making in Ableton. And welcome to him as well. Thank you to everybody. And let's see, I guess while we're doing the shout outs, I'm going to throw the Discord link in here for everybody too. It is a good place to come and chill and share the music that you're listening to and the music that you're making, any programming stuff that you're doing, anything you want help with. We've had some cool debugging stuff happen on there lately. And yeah, I guess to that end, let's start off with a little update. We had this cool patch last time from Admiral Entropy, and we took it apart a bit, gave him some tips, and he came back with a version 2 for us, and it sounds awesome. So we have... Here, let's turn on the sound. That'll help. We now have an envelope and a keyboard hookup that's working, and a knob that we can use. Whoop. Check this out. How badass is that? I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So it's in its early stages, but you could definitely turn this into a cool synth. The higher you turn up the number of wavetables, the smoother your signal gets. And as we turn it down, we get these cool kind of FM sounds. I love that sound. I think you could do some really cool stuff with that. And that's the kind of thing that we have our Discord to collaborate with. Yeah, nice to see some progress amongst our friends. And I'm glad that my suggestions helped. And anyone at all who wants to share stuff and have me, show it off for you on stream or give you suggestions or get help debugging from the community, that's the place to do it. Drop on in. I'm going to save this and maybe I'll do more with it later. Admiral Entropy Synth. Holy shit, did we get... Hey, we got a subscription. Thanks, Teeth Engraved. It looks like you've subscribed for 2 months. Thank you. I'm just so happy that you guys got to hear the fucking A sample. I've been dying to hear that on stream. Fucking A! Oh boy, so that's Admiral Entropy Synth number 3. And thank you again for sharing. Badass. Honk to you, Teeth Engraved. Thank you for being a subscriber. Your support helps like you wouldn't believe. Gonna jam out some techno today, I think. This is something that Teeth Engraved and I have been working on for our minimal techno project. And gonna try to do some wacky stuff with this with our little PS3 controller. Our happy little PS3 controller. So yeah, let's see, where the hell were we? It's been a week and a half, and I'm, obviously lost. But we're just gonna kick back and see what we can do with this stuff. Pause that for a second. So if you remember last time, we were starting to take this massive max patch that we made and put it into something that's more native to Ableton Live using the live object model. And we hit that insane boss fight where Max was crashing and we had some error messages, but we finally figured it out last time, and now we have a way to directly map a control within Live without jumping over to Max and back and yada yada, which is not really a fun user experience. So we're going to keep working with the live object model and try to port our patch into here and kind of clean it up as we go. I think that's the plan. If this would open. Come on. There we go. Right. So, I just tested this out and, closed it again just now by accident. My bad. But I have this so that we have a map button here. Let's make sure we're getting stuff in. Here's the Y-axis on our left joystick. Good times. All we needed to do was select this from a menu. And then this is our little map button. We click that. And then the first control we touch gets mapped to the Y-axis on our left joystick. And we want to do that with the rest of our controls. That is the goal tonight. So right now I have it on the dry-wet of the delay. Let's try doing it on this reverb. And I'm going to turn it on. And yeah, you can see that the dry-wet is grayed out. I think that is a good sign. Yes, and it is indeed working. We didn't break anything between then and now, chat. And you never know. Sometimes when you don't have things solid yet, it's not super reliable, and you put it down, you come back to it. That's why you want to comment your code. But we are in good shape. So this is saying it's dry-wet. It's between 0 and 1 as our minimum and maximum. And this little number box dude over here, we can see that he is moving when I move the joystick. Huzzah. So we basically just want to hang out and do that for the rest of our controls and tidy this summabitch up. That is my goal. And make some nice tunes with it along the way. Woo! Thanks, Teeth Engraved. Alright, so, yeah, this was the exciting part. Let's zoom in a bit, if we can. Yeah, there we go, zoom in a bit, review this, for anyone who's new to the live object model. I know I am a bit. But this is what we got going on here. So, remember, an important skill for learning any kind of programming stuff is don't get too caught up in details too quick. Keep a bit of a bird's eye view so that you don't get lost. And as we tidy this up, I will explain. So live.thisDevice just means start. When we open this up, it sends a bang that says, hey, I'm open. And then we bang this message that says path, live set, view. And it goes into this object called live.path. We don't need this anymore. Live.path is an object that gets an ID based on what object we tell it we're interested in. So when we start, we say, hey, live.path, we're interested in the view for this current live set. And it passes that ID, as we saw it said ID 1, over here, and into the right inlet of live.observer. Live.observer takes an ID and lets us observe a particular property. So within the current live set, we are saying, next send a bang to property selected parameter. So that's whatever knob we click on. We're saying we want to observe the selected parameter in the current live set. And that's how we get to control a reverb knob or a delay knob or anything like that. And if you remember these crazy errors we were getting, this was the problem here, actually. Live.observer has some kind of bug in it. Nothing to do with us, it's not our fault, but it was spitting out some ID zeros. And anytime that a live observer or live object, like this guy, can't find something, it doesn't understand, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. ID 0. It means I'm confused. And that meant that whatever we mapped to, it was coming out correctly, but then we were also getting a couple of ID 0s, which just meant that our objects were like, and then our mapping wouldn't work. But we fixed that by adding this gate in. So that's our map button right there. When we turn that on, we're ready to map something. And as soon as we click it, then as soon as we click the knob we're interested in, the ID comes in here. And so the ID of the selected parameter comes through this gate. And the first thing we do is we then close the gate. We say, that's all we want, just one, no more. It's like that meme with the guy closing the gate. We're just closing the gate a little. No, we immediately snap it shut as soon as we get one. That's all we want. And then we send that ID out here over to live.object, where we can get some information about it. Its name, minimum, and maximum. And then we also send it over to live.remote, which triggers an ID 0, which says clear out whatever the previous one was, and then sends the ID in here, and that lets us actually control it. Live.remote. It's like a TV remote. Once we tell it what to connect to, we can talk to it. And yeah, that's it. That's what's happening in this patch. So let's tidy this up a tiny bit more. And over here is our stuff that we have from our max patch that maps the PS3 controller. Here's our left joystick Y axis. So I'm going to just drag this, and we can always chat while I do this. This is kind of the relaxing part. We get to just sort of tidy things a little bit. Let's see. I think I want to put this in a line here. Let's drag this over here. Let's straighten this guy out. Boop. And that goes under here. Those are going to the same place. This goes over here. So now we can see a little better what the signal path is. And that's kind of important for debugging if something goes wrong down the line. Of course, you know, we won't make any mistakes like that. Who would do such a thing? But just in case, you know. I want to make it clear for you guys. It's not that I make mistakes. I'm kidding, of course. Now let's see. So that goes into the observer, and then this comes over here. And we have our minimum and maximum, okay, mapped going through a scale object here. Yes, okay. So our joystick we have mapped to a MIDI range. So we're going from 0 to 127 from our joystick, and we're saying scale that to whatever the minimum and maximum are from whatever object we are controlling. So let's take this and plug it directly into here rather than using these message boxes because they are extra. We don't need them. And so now our joystick will automatically be scaled correctly in theory. This is good to keep just so we can see what we're controlling. We can confirm it's mapped correctly. We don't need this right now, but we will at some point. This just maps the input audio to the output audio. We're going to need that later once we actually turn this into a synth, rather than just a controller, which is, as you recall, the end goal here. Let's see. So, where to put this junk? What you gonna do with all this junk? All this junk up in your patch. And yes, I mumble to myself like this even when I'm not on stream. To anyone who's wondering. Let's see. I don't know, talking to yourself can kind of help when you're thinking through a problem. let's put this over here. That goes with the scale object. This is the ID. Let's put a send in here for this. So send. Let me think for a second. So I'm thinking a bit. We're going to want to duplicate this for... Right now we're just directly mapping the left joystick. And yes, thank you, Teeth Engraved. Is right. We gotta think. So right now we're just going directly to the Y joystick. We need to do this as well for a couple other controls. We have the X and we have the other joystick. And so I can't just say send mapping or something because we need this to be particular to one. Think. Well, how are we doing this over in our original patch? Let's not Oh no, did I open this twice, chat? Oh dear. We're gonna do a save as, because we're paranoid as fuck. This is gonna be mapper 2. There we go. And now we can safely close this without any kind of conflict. And I see error messages. Okay, that's alright. Hashtag and missing arguments for send. What's it complaining about? Well, nothing I can click on, so let's ignore it for now. It's not a problem until it makes itself a problem. Let's see. So whose job is what? We need this section to get the minimum and maximum. So it kind of goes with this scale object. And really this is our separation point here, I would say. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to separate out this section of our patch. And I might even make it a B patcher, but not right away. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. This stuff is complicated. We're still getting used to the live object model. And once we have something that's working solidly, then we can refactor it and make it cleaner. And I guess the other kind of important principle I'm using here is, oh, hey, Max quit unexpectedly. That's exciting. Good thing we saved, huh, chat? Okay. Well, this is still open. I'm going to ignore that and pretend it didn't happen. I'm going to save again. But yeah, we want each bit of our patch to be a little isolated. You don't want to cram too many things into one corner of your project, because that makes it hard to debug. I'm thinking this section of our project is literally in charge of producing the name of the mapped control, the minimum and maximum for it, and it needs to receive the output from our PS3 controller. That's it. It's the communicator, the negotiator. It's the communicator between our controller and the rest of the live set. So let's do something like this. Yeah, that's nice and tidy. Yeah, getting there. Alright, yeah, I'm happy with that. And let's do this. Let's do a send in this direction. We're gonna say send ljoy y. I'm gonna call this MIDI because it's in the range of 0 to 127. So we're gonna send from here, and this is its own little corner, and then we're gonna receive over here, and we're gonna make sure we haven't broken anything, which means jamming, and that's always fun. So this goes right into this scale, and that should do it. Save. Let's drag this down here. So this is all we need for our left Y-axis on our joystick. Nice. All right. Yeah, we're going to test that. Save. Close. Mapper 2. Let's reselect the PlayStation controller. Are we getting stuff in? We are. Rockin'. And let's click map. Let's do the delay this time. Looks good. All right, that looks like it's working. We got dry, wet. Let's watch over here, and let's listen too. So what we're hearing is this guy. Yeah, that works. I hit up on the controller and the dry wet turns up. Sounds good, it works. Rockin'. Now I want to test something. I'm going to save this. I'm going to quit. And I'm going to cross my fingers, and I need you to cross your fingers with me, chat. I have a feeling that if we are lucky, that will just save automatically with our live set, because sometimes the live object model is just smart that way. And if that is the case, then we don't have to deal with the nightmare that is patter. Patter is for storing presets, because you don't want to have to remap this every time that you open your live set. That would suck. Yes, thank you, Teeth of Graves. Cross those fingers. All right, here we go. Orbiting 22. If we are lucky, all we have to do is select that PlayStation 3 menu and shit should still work. Big money. Come on now. Big money, no whammy. We had it mapped to dry wet on the delay. Let's select that. I'm concerned that that still says boom frequency, but whatever. And if I go up, down, it still works! Dude! Oh, we are so lucky, chat. Oh my god. Yay! I love it when shit just works. It never seems like it happens that way. But hey, check that shit out. It just worked. Oh, joy. Alright. That's fucking cool. Let's map it to something else. This is a fun one. Gonna say map it to this mod wheel. And I'll hit stop on this. What key are we in? I've forgotten. We are in A minor? A minor. I think we're in A minor. See a lot of E's and A's and C's there. Been a little while since we started this one. Let's see. So let's just try for the hell of it. Let's map this over there. Map to mod wheel. Hey, it says mod wheel. Alright. Rad. Radical, even. Oh, I have to turn on the MIDI input. Derp. So we don't have our notes in here yet, so I can't play it with the PS3, but I got a little keyboard over here. Hey, that's working. Nice. Not bad at all. I like that mod wheel. Feels pretty good. Alright. We're in a good spot, chat. Let's expand a bit, shall we? Let's get brave. Time to do the rest of our joysticks. And let's make this like a prettier button real quick. Actually, no, that's a job for another time. I just want more things to map. Also, let's clean this crap up. Holy God. Yeah. This isn't too bad, but check it out. This is all self-contained. All this is doing is it has one job, and that is to get data from our controller and send it to the rest of the patch. Awesome. And the reason why that is an important programming principle is that we can simply take all of this, select it, and do the magical Command-Shift. I think it's Command-Shift-E? Yeah! Look at that. Now it's just one happy little object. Nice. I'm going to call that routing. I'm going to call that PS3 controller routing. Because I like descriptive names for things. I've seen so many abbreviations working in web development that they make me sad. I like long descriptive names that I don't have to think about. I just know what they do. PS3 controller routing, I know exactly what that does. Awesome. We can kind of keep that out of the way. Because it's just a done thing. Look at how neat and tidy our stuff is getting. Alright, that's going to live down there. Let's go and steal some more from our other patch. Is it still open? Or is that what crashed? Yeah, that's what crashed. That's okay. That's okay, chat. Silver Machine 6. It's going to be so cool when this is done. Excuse me. Let's see. What else are we doing? Let's go get the rest of our joysticks. Boy, this part of this patch. You know what, though? Well, we might still want some of this. This needs a bit of a cleanup, but that is also a job for another time. One thing at a time, chat. We are gonna take... We got this guy. Next, we want this guy. That's the left joystick X. And heck, while we're here, let's grab... We're not overextending ourselves too much here. Let's take the right joystick as well. And what's neat is we don't need any of this MIDI port crap because we are now mapping. We are using the live object model directly. So all of this stuff is now obsolete. But because we went that route, we were able to focus on getting everything else where we want it, and that is super cool. That is the power of doing one thing at a time. Now we get to move that into something more elegant. Unlock the patch first. There we go. Hey, look how neat and tidy that is. Alright. Left joystick Y, left joystick X. Right joystick Y, right joystick X. Cool. Move these up with each other here. Want them to be with their friends, right? And now these each need a send. We're going to call that one send L joy X MIDI. And we need 2 sends for these. And this one is going to be R joy Y MIDI. And this one is going to be R joy X MIDI. Nifty. And now we need 3 more of these. Now do we need more than one live path? I could just copy and paste this whole thing. let's do that first, because that's the simplest. We know that this works. We can simplify it afterwards. Get something that works, simplify it afterwards. That is my mantra. I'm going to grab this. We're going to go copy. Let's just do it with 1 first. If it works with 1, it'll work with 4. Alright, so nothing here changes, except that this receive is now going to be L joy X. And then we should have our left joystick working. Alright. Cool, cool. Yeah, comes it. Alrighty. We have a guest. I'm taking up the whole room. So, gonna let the other half chill in here. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Gonna save this. We are gonna cross our fingers some more. And if this works, so the, again, important part of testing something is know what you're looking for. If this works, we should be able to, let's label these, have not only the left y-axis, but the left x-axis mappable. So, left joystick Y, left joystick X, sweet. Over here, something like that. Scoot this up. Alright. Save. Fingers crossed. Beach ballin'. No, we good. We good. Alright, here we go. So, let's map left joystick Y to wet dry on the delay here, and let's do left joystick X over to wet dry on the reverb. Cool. Those both say dry wet, but I mean they're both dry wet controls, so I think we're good. Let's make sure to reselect this. And right now we're only monitoring here on the y-axis one, but we should be able to see the knobs move if we're lucky. Up, down, left, right. Yeah, it's working. Hey, all right, chat. Son of a beach hoondoon. Beach ballin', son of beach hoondoon. Yes, indeed. We are the wizards tonight, chat. Things are working. Would you believe it? Let's listen again. So with the joystick all the way up and the right, we get super delay reverby. And then as I move it left and down, it gets drier. Nice. Rockin'. I'm digging it. Let's do the other two. It's coming along. Let's put this where it belongs here. Left joystick Y, left joystick X. And, yeah, you know? I'm thinking this could be a little sub-patcher. Yeah, what do you think, Chad? I think this could be a sub-patcher. Just like we did down here. Let's do it. All we need to do is leave this guy out so that it can receive from the correct place. And then we will not... Oh, well, we do want to be able to see these numbers, so it means it's got to be a B-patcher. B-Patcher is just like a regular sub-patcher, except that we get to see our interface. Good night, Concept Wife. Sweet dreams to you as well. Thanks for hanging out, Carrot. You are a good friend, and it is so nice to have you in chat. I hope this was fun. Let's see. Your good vibes certainly help me to accomplish things. I'll catch you on Discord. Good night. Oh boy, my back. I'm old, but we're gonna do this. Ah, yeah. All right. I'm gonna take that out. Yeah, let's make this a B-Patcher. We are gonna be living dangerously. New. Paste. Yep, looking good. We're gonna say open in presentation mode. Where are you? I always forget. There it is. Open in presentation. And there we go. That's our little interface thingy right there. And all we need is an inlet. And we're going to leave a little comment on it that says input 0 to 127. Awesome. And you go right over here. This happy little scale object. And then this should all still work, I think. I hope. Yeah, because we only have one. I was kind of wondering to myself if what was preventing each live observer to always change over to whatever thing I'm clicking on, but our gate prevents that. We turn on one, we click the button, or the dial rather, it maps, it goes away, it turns off. Bob's your uncle. I think this should work. Let's save it, and we're going to call this map selected parameter. Alright, and now let's do exactly what we did just now, except with our fancy B-Patcher. No, bag. No, we don't want a bag. We want a B-Patcher. Right. And we want to open map selected parameter. There it is. No errors. Looking good. And now we're going to take these receives and just plug them in here. Grab a second one. Delete that. Steal this. That in there. And add these to presentation mode. Wonderful. Let's take this out of presentation mode for now. Let's take these out of presentation mode. And put these shiny new dudes in there. Alright. Save. Close. Crossing the fingers. Here we go. Boop. Let's map that to dry wet again. Ooh. Oh. Oh, maybe that looks like it didn't go. Let's re-click this. That looks good. Turn on map. Oh, let's close and reopen this. I remember there's some sort of a bug with Live Remote where you need to close it and reopen it when you make a new one. Alright, reselect our PlayStation 3 controller. Click this guy to map. Come over here. There we go, that looks good. Yep, looking good. Let's map the other one, and this time let's do, oh, I don't know, decay time. Looks good. Nice. Turn this up. And actually, let's do mod wheel again. That was cool. Jump over here, make sure we can change things. Yep. Looks good to me. Yep, mod wheel. Nice. All right. And up, down, we should see, yep, dry, wet. And left, right, we should see our mod wheel. Sick. Yeah, we are leveling up, chat. This is coming together. All right, let's do the other two. And now we get to delete these. Look at that. Goodbye, friends. Haha. And they are condensed down to these tiny little building blocks right here. What a joy. And now to do the other ones, all we need to do is copy and paste this, I think. And we're just going to rename to match these sends here. So this just needs to change from an L to an R. L to an R. Woo! Okay. Lock. Save. Close. Bitchin'. Oh, wait. I need to add it to presentation. I need to put it in presentation mode where I can see it. Save. Close. Now Bob's your uncle. Close and reopen it. And let's add something else from our recent thingy here. That would be fun to control. Right now we're doing mod wheel, maybe pitch bend. Let's do pitch bend. Getting dangerous. Nice. All right. And, yeah, that looks good. Let's add some distortion over here, because I just can't help myself. I add distortion to everything. Yeah, some nice happy little pedal. Fuzz it out. Put it after the reverb. Ooh, no. Let's try it on the bass. Yeah! Now we're cooking. All right. I think I like the overdrive. All right, let's map this biatch. All right, let's have left Y controlling the, whoops. I'm gonna do something over here on the bass. Let's do the delay time. And let's do the wet dry on the pedal for the x-axis. And now for the right joystick, let's do Y-axis is pitch bend. And X-axis is mod wheel. Alright, looks good. Select our controller. We should be good here. Fingers crossed. I'm not sure that delay time is working so well. Let's map that to something else. Let's map that to the wet dry on this delay instead. That's working. Cool. What did we have this at? I think we had this here. Yeah, much better. Alright, cool. There we go. Yeah, now we have some expression with our left joystick. We can make the bass more intense if we want to. Come back down. Rock and roll, Jet. Coming right along. Check that out. Look how much simpler and cleaner that is. It's one button press to map, and we've got our joysticks in their little corner right here, and we've got one little patch here for all of our routing, one responsibility for each section of our patch, and everything's working. And we couldn't have gotten here if it wasn't for version 1 that we started way back in Max for Live. And then we decided to move over here and focus on MIDI. And now we're into version 3. We're making our way back into Max for Live. And the goal down the line, in a few weeks I hope, I think it's not too far away, is get the rest of the note stuff into the Max for Live patch so that we can directly send MIDI and have all of our scales and stuff in there as well, and our button mashing, and then we get to add the actual engine of our Silver Machine and get into making our own little synths that it can control, as well as being able to map to any of the knobs in any other synth in here. And that's going to be freaking badass, and we're getting close. And I think with that, I'm going to call this a stream. It is good to be back. It's good to see all you folks again, and I'll be looking forward to next week. Again, come and join our Discord and share your cool shit so that this isn't just me screaming into the void. You know, I'd be doing this anyway, but I want to see what you guys are doing too. We can inspire each other and we can help each other to learn. And, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and last announcement of all is we're going to be starting a couple of new projects soon. And just like people bounce around between games, from week to week, we'll probably do a few sessions on one project and then jump over and do another one and come back. We'll probably have, you know, between 1 and 3 things going at any given time, but I want to do some cool stuff with P5JS. We're going to make a little synth that involves simulating rain in order to control an arpeggiator, and I think that's going to be nifty. And we're also going to do some stuff in Ruby on Rails, and eventually get into building a VST using C++. But all of that requires some other setup stuff that I have not done yet. But we will get there. Just like anything else, we will chip away at it, chat. We will work together. So let's go and raid somebody. I think it is that time. Indeed. Let's see who's on. Let's get my windows sorted here. Hey, joy of missing out. I'm glad you're there. Yeah, we're going to do some fun stuff. And, yeah, it is just awesome to have you guys along for the ride. And I want to hear your input, too. Who shall we raid? Who shall we raid? Let's go raid the Gaming Kings. They're cool. They are a friendly couple, and they are playing Apex Legends right now. Let's go get them. They only have 6 viewers. They'll be happy to see us. All right. Ready to raid? There we go. Over and out, chat. It's been fun. Until next week. Cool. And end.